to become an artist, a trapeze artist, they have to take the leap, right? A lot of individuals go up there, get on that I guess the crane and whatnot, and it's not everybody that is able to take that leap, right? You're you're up in the air, fear, everything takes over, and a lot of individuals are not able to do it, which is why there's so many. The percentage of individuals that are trapeze artists is very small. So he's talking about how in certain times in our lives we have an ability to take a leap, to be able to do that thing that we want to do, to be able to learn that new skill, um, maybe apply for a career or a job that you thought you would never apply for, whatever it is that you have been thinking about but you never done it because current circumstances, maybe you don't have enough time, you have work, family, all these things that are part of real normal. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back. We're back, and I wanted to just jump in real quick. Obviously, it's been the last couple of days that we've been self-quarantined. Day 10 for those that haven't been watching my videos, day 10 for me. And I must admit, I kind of been used to this already. Just kidding. But I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about another insight from this book. And you guys are probably going to hate the book. You're probably going to hate me by this point. But man, this book has such applicable insights for what's going on right now, especially with the whole virus thing, and we're being forced to be home, and we've been hit with this unexpected kind of shutdown, especially if I'm in the New York City area. The New York City area has been kind of shut down. Businesses that are non-essential have been closed. A lot of people have been laid off. It's a whole change, especially for a city that lives off commerce and businesses. This is where if you want to come and start a business, you come here, and there's enough people for everybody to eat, as they say, from everybody to take from the pie. But that being said, in the book, real quick, he's talking about Seth Godin's talking about how most of the time, if you think about it, if he gives this crazy scenario where, which is true, and I've heard it countless amount of times from other motivational speakers and inspirational speakers when they're talking about how most of the time for a circus or a trapeze artist at a circus, in order for them to become an artist, a trapeze artist, they have to take the leap, right? A lot of individuals go up there, get on that I guess the crane and whatnot, and it's not everybody that is able to take that leap, right? You're up in the air, fear, everything takes over, and a lot of individuals are not able to do it, which is why there's so many. The percentage of individuals that are trapeze artists is very small. So he's talking about how in certain times in our lives we have an ability to take a leap, to be able to do that thing that we want to do, to be able to learn that new skill, maybe apply for a career or a job that you thought you would never apply for, whatever it is that you have been thinking about but you never done it because current circumstances, maybe you don't have enough time, you have work, family, all these things that are part of real normal life. Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, now on this moment right now, all of that has been taken away from us, right? All the excuses, instead of my last video, all the excuses that we had, that we kind of use as a kind of I would say like a burden on us, for us not, or an excuse, not an excuse, but also a reason for why we don't become much bigger than we are. Why don't we tap into the certain parts of ourselves that we know that are there, but we don't feel that we are ready for that? That hits hard. So what I came into the conclusion was, and I was hearing earlier today in Kyle C's, if you guys haven't checked him out, Kyle C's he has his own YouTube channel. If you're talking about spiritual transformational wisdom, that's the guy. But he's talking about today how this circumstances that we're being faced here and as a community, as a society, it's a moment where, one, it was needed, and it's something that society has been kind of not attending to. We haven't been facing our fears. We haven't been facing, uh, the reality of things. We made up these activities and distractions to keep us from being the bigger version of ourselves. If I make any sense, keep us in that small version, right? If you want to go even a little bit deeper, if you think about it, he talks about also, in a factory, you know, workers are given a task, they have to get it done no matter what, and if you don't do it, then the next guy up does it. So you're easily replaceable. And what differentiates the linchpins that he talks about in the book are those individuals that are not replaceable, and those are not found in factories, right? Those are found where most of them are their own leaders, or they're part of a company that embraces leaders, embraces creativity, ingenuity, um, motivation, right? Inspired individuals, new ways of thinking, open-minded individuals. These are individuals that are able to not only lead, but lead by example. There's not just because you can lead doesn't mean that you're leading by example. But the best I think leaders are the ones that lead by example. I'll give you a quick scenario where it's totally off topic, but I worked as a janitor for a top investment company called TIAA Cref, and their CEO. I was assigned to their floor for the CEO, and I was doing the bathrooms there, and cleaning the bathrooms at night, and I always had this perception of like corporate America, like being like obviously it's us against them, and the working class versus the rich. This is what I always thought. I mean, this was built into the shows I watched, the news, everything that I've consumed until then, and when I would be cleaning the bathrooms, there were individuals that were super nice, right? They'll wait for me to, you know, finish to come into the bathroom. They would ask permission, and then there were some individuals that really you could see that they really didn't care for much for me. They wouldn't say good afternoon, good evening. Again, no judgment. I don't know what they were going through, so I'm not here to judge. But you can tell that my presence didn't matter to them because I was a janitor and they were, who knows, vice president, whatever they were, of the companies. Now, the boss, as I call it, the boss, or the leader of the whole organization, the CEO of the company, and I wish I remember his name. It's been a year now, so I can't remember. But if you guys look him up, T.I. Cref, the current CEO, he would take the time, which gave me gave me goosebumps, but he would take the time and he would actually give me a handshake or a pat on the back. He said, "Good evening." And he would ask, when he first met me, he asked for my name. He said, "What is your name?" I said, "Anthony." He said, "Oh, nice to meet you, Anthony. Um, you know, nice to see you here. Make sure you take care of us." And every day he'll come by at the same time, and I'll be in there cleaning my bathrooms. And he would stop and wait until I would come out the bathroom. And I'm only explaining the stories because even with the power that he had no reason to wait for me. He had no reason to give me any type of acknowledgement. But he took the time to do that. And the only thing I remembered from that whole job scenario that really gave me an experience and a perspective in life was that individual. I don't remember how much I got paid. I don't remember my bad scenarios, which I kind of do. I don't remember the days that I felt like shit. I remember how, although he was at a top level of, we call the top 1%, the individuals still took the time out to acknowledge me, say how I'm doing. Do you have a family? Hope all is well. Have a good weekend. These are things that go a long way. And it's just minor things in our minds that we don't really put mind to it. But I think now, in these times that we're going through, where everything is like kind of been to a halt, where everybody's kind of an equal play, right? Whether you work for a corporate company or you were the janitor, everybody's been laid off for that, whatever company you're working for, right? So everybody's the same. There's no, oh, I'm working, you're not. Everybody's facing the same unseen virus, right? So I think in these times is where you see the true individuals for who they are, because in tough times they always tell you don't tell who the individual is through the good times, you tell who they are through the tough times, and how you're able to build yourself back up, still keep positive, inspire others, still keep yourself knowing that this too shall pass, and at the same time help others. I think that's like the humanity in all of us, and there's nothing else but that. But again, that's something a whole different topic. But yeah, so in this, since I got sidetracked, in the story itself, um, just because you become, a CEO of a company or a powerful leader, does not mean that you're gonna change. The only thing that changes you is yourself. Um, if you're a DICK before you had the power, you still will be the same when you have the power, right? So don't be afraid to like, oh, if I get all the money, I'm gonna have to become like one of those arrogant bastards. Sorry for the bad words, but arrogant people. But you're not. That's totally irrelevant. The money didn't change him, as Gary Vee says in some of his videos. Says the social media didn't change you; it just exposed you. Same thing with the money. The money didn't change you; it exposes you. So keep that in mind. I think it's time for us to take the moment now, this time, and take that leap, right? We're being forced to change, right? There's always that moment where we're forced to change. I know for me, it was about a year ago. I got abruptly let go without knowing, and it definitely made me tackle this more, maybe tackle more of my passions more, and have more time for them. Even though I looked at it as a bad thing, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I've grown consistently throughout the time I've been off, and I'm still growing. I'm still have different insights every day. But let's use these moments that we're having right now, self quarantining or self isolation, to learn about ourselves, most importantly. And then obviously you want to learn new skills or whatever it is that you're interested in. But I think I want to talk about something real quick in my next video, which I think a lot of us are forgetting. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.